Hey Pisces, welcome back. I need to share something with you today because the energy coming through these cards is pretty remarkable. Today is shaping up to be one of those Sundays that changes everything. Not for you exactly, but for someone else in your orbit. Someone is experiencing what I can only describe as their most karmic Sunday. And you are at the center of it in the most unexpected way. So I laid out the cards this morning specifically for Pisces energy. And what came through was this theme of someone sitting with the weight of their own choices while you have moved into this space of complete emotional sovereignty. You are no longer accepting crumbs, Pisces. You are no longer waiting by the phone. You are no longer making excuses for behavior that never deserved your understanding in the first place. And this shift in you, this quiet revolution of self-respect, is creating absolute chaos in someone else's internal world. Let me walk you through what the cards are showing, because this is layered and complex and honestly kind of beautiful in a bittersweet way. The first card that came through is the Knight of Cups. And I have to tell you, when I saw this card in this position, my first thought was, oh, this is about the person who used to offer you emotional breadcrumbs disguised as grand gestures. The Knight of Cups can represent someone who is romantic, idealistic, someone who knows exactly what to say and when to say it. But here is the thing about this knight. He often offers the idea of love without the substance. He rides in with flowers and poetry and promises, but when it comes time to actually build something real, to show up consistently, to do the work of genuine partnership, he tends to vanish into the mist. This card is telling me that this person, whoever they are in your life, built their entire approach to you on the assumption that you would always be moved by their gestures. They thought the occasional text, the sporadic attention, the unpredictable moments of affection would be enough to keep you tethered. And for a while, maybe it was. Because you, Pisces, have this incredible capacity to see the potential in people, to hold space for their growth, to believe in the version of them they could become. But something shifted. You woke up one day and realized that potential is not the same as reality. And you stopped accepting the Knight of Cups energy as a substitute for actual love. What the cards are showing me is that this person is now sitting in the aftermath of your departure, and they are realizing that the gestures do not work anymore. The flowers they might send, metaphorically or literally, are not getting the response they used to. The late night messages are going unanswered. The attempts to pull you back in with nostalgia or charm are falling flat. And for the first time, they are confronting the reality that they lost something irreplaceable, not because you stopped loving them, but because you started loving yourself more. The Knight of Cups in this reading represents their current state. This person is still trying to approach you with the same old tactics, but now they are doing it from a place of desperation rather than confidence. They are experiencing what happens when someone who was always emotionally available suddenly becomes unavailable, and it is shaking their entire foundation. Your indifference, Pisces, is not cruelty. It is self-preservation. And they are learning that lesson in real time. Now let me pull the next card because this is where it gets even more interesting. The Death card just came through, and before anyone panics, this is not about physical death. This is about transformation, about the complete ending of a cycle, about the death of an old version of reality. And in this context, it is speaking to the absolute finality of what is happening energetically between you and this person. The Death card is one of the most powerful cards in the tarot deck because it represents change that cannot be undone. You cannot resurrect what the Death card has claimed. And what I am seeing here is that the relationship dynamic you had with this person, the pattern of you giving and them taking, of you hoping and them disappointing, of you waiting and them stringing you along, that entire dynamic has died. It is over. Not because of some dramatic confrontation, not because of anger or revenge, but because you simply walked away and let it die through your absence. This is hitting this person on such a profound level because they genuinely believed they could keep you in this holding pattern indefinitely. They thought they could have you as an option, as someone who would always be there in the background, ready to accept whatever minimal effort they decided to offer. The Death card is showing me that they are now facing the reality that you have closed that door permanently. You are not coming back. You are not softening. You are not giving them another chance to disappoint you. What makes this particularly karmic is that this person likely did the same thing to others before you. They probably have a history of keeping people on the hook, of enjoying the ego boost that comes from having someone who is always available, always forgiving, always hoping. But karma has a way of teaching us through experience, and now they are learning what it feels like to be on the other side of that dynamic. They are learning what it feels like to want someone who no longer wants them back. They are learning what it feels like to realize that some doors, once closed, do not open again. The Death card in this position is also speaking to your transformation, Pisces. You have died to the old version of yourself that would accept less than you deserve. That version of you who would rationalize bad behavior, who would make yourself smaller to accommodate someone else's inability to show up, who would convince yourself that crumbs were enough because at least they were something, that person no longer exists. And this person is mourning that loss because they benefited from that version of you. Your evolution is their loss, and they are feeling it deeply. Moving into the next card, I am seeing the Four of Cups. And this is fascinating because this card traditionally represents apathy, disengagement, emotional withdrawal. It shows a figure sitting under a tree, ignoring 3 cups in front of them, while a 4th cup is being offered by a hand emerging from a cloud. The person in the card is so lost in their own thoughts, so disconnected from what is being offered, that they cannot even see the opportunity right in front of them. In this reading, the Four of Cups is showing me 2 things simultaneously. First, it is representing your current state of emotional detachment from this situation. You are not sitting around thinking about this person. You are not checking their social media. You are not hoping they will change or wondering if you made the right choice. You have genuinely moved into a space of disinterest, and that disinterest is not forced or performed. It is real. You have other things to focus on, other aspects of your life that actually deserve your emotional energy, and this person is simply not a priority anymore. But the Four of Cups is also showing me this person's perspective, and this is where the karma really comes into focus. They are sitting in their own emotional withdrawal, in their own space of disconnection, and they are realizing that all the cups they ignored, all the love you offered, all the opportunities they had to build something real with you, those are gone now. And the cosmic irony is that now they want what they previously took for granted. Now they see the value in what they dismissed. Now they understand what they had, but it is too late. This card is showing me that this person is experiencing a deep sense of regret, not the performative kind of regret that people express when they think it will get them what they want, but genuine regret, the kind that sits in your chest and keeps you awake at night, the kind that makes you replay every moment you could have chosen differently. They are sitting with the reality that they had someone who loved them genuinely, who showed up consistently, who was willing to build something meaningful, and they treated it like it was disposable. They treated you like you were an option when you were offering them the opportunity of a lifetime. The Four of Cups is also highlighting your indifference as the most powerful form of closure you could possibly offer. Not anger, not arguments, not attempts to make them understand what they did wrong, but simple, complete indifference. You are not offering them the emotional reaction they might expect. You are not giving them the satisfaction of knowing they still affect you. You are living your life as if they were never a central part of it. And that is creating more internal chaos for them than any confrontation ever could. Let me pull the next card because the energy is building here. The Moon card just came through, and okay, this is significant. The moon represents illusion, confusion, things that are not as they seem, the space between reality and perception. It is a card of shadows and uncertainty, of things hidden beneath the surface, of truth that has not yet been fully revealed. In this reading, the moon is showing me that this person is currently living in a state of complete confusion about what happened. They are replaying the relationship in their mind, trying to understand the exact moment when you stopped caring, trying to figure out what they did wrong, trying to make sense of why their usual tactics are not working anymore. And the confusion is eating them alive because they genuinely cannot comprehend how someone who loved them so much could walk away so completely. But here is what the moon is really revealing. This person's confusion is rooted in their own illusions. They were operating under the false belief that your love for them was unconditional, that your patience was infinite, that your willingness to accept less than you deserve would last forever. They were living in a fantasy where they could have you as a constant while they explored other options, kept themselves emotionally unavailable, maintained their freedom without consequence. The moon is showing me that those illusions are being shattered right now, and the process of that shattering is deeply uncomfortable for them. The moon also represents the subconscious, the dreams, the nighttime hours when we cannot distract ourselves from our own thoughts. And I am getting very clearly that this person is losing sleep over you, Pisces. Not in a romantic comedy kind of way, but in a genuine existential way. They are lying awake at night, replaying conversations, analyzing moments, trying to understand how they misread the situation so badly. They are having dreams about you, dreams where you are distant or cold or simply not there, and they are waking up with this sense of loss that they cannot shake. What makes this particularly karmic is that you are probably sleeping peacefully. You are not losing sleep over someone who never valued your waking hours. You are not tormented by confusion because you are crystal clear about why you left and why you are not going back. The moon is their experience, not yours. You have moved into clarity while they are stuck in the shadows of their own making, trying to navigate a darkness that they created through their own choices. The moon is also highlighting something deeper. This person is being forced to confront parts of themselves they have been avoiding. The way they treated you was not an isolated incident. It was part of a pattern of emotional unavailability, of taking people for granted, of assuming love should be easy and require nothing of them. And now, in the quiet moments, in the dark hours, they are being forced to look at that pattern and recognize it for what it is. The moon brings things up from the subconscious, and this person is facing truths about themselves that are deeply uncomfortable. Now I am pulling the Queen of Swords, and this card is absolutely you right now, Pisces. The Queen of Swords is one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck because she represents someone who has learned to cut through illusion with clarity, who speaks truth even when it is uncomfortable, who has experienced pain and used it to develop wisdom rather than bitterness. She is kind, but she is not soft. She is compassionate, but she does not allow herself to be taken advantage of. She knows the value of boundaries, and she defends them without apology. This is who you have become in this situation. You are no longer the dreamy Pisces who gets lost in fantasy and potential. You have integrated the energy of the Queen of Swords, which means you are seeing this person and this situation exactly as it is, without the rose-colored glasses, without the excuses, without the hope that they will somehow become who you needed them to be. And from that place of clarity, you have made the decision that serves your highest good, which is to remove yourself from a dynamic that was never going to fulfill you. The Queen of Swords is showing me that your indifference is not cold, it is clear. You are not being cruel to this person. You are not trying to hurt them or teach them a lesson. You are simply honoring your own boundaries and your own worth. And if that creates discomfort for them, that is not your responsibility. You have done the internal work to recognize that you cannot save people from the consequences of their own choices, and you cannot sacrifice your own well-being to protect someone else from their karma. This card is also highlighting your communication style right now. When this person tries to reach out to you, if they try to pull you back in with emotional manipulation or guilt or promises of change, you are responding with clarity and directness. You are not leaving room for interpretation. You are not giving them hope where none exists. You are being honest, even when that honesty is uncomfortable, because you respect both yourself and them enough to tell the truth. And that truth is that you have moved on, that the door is closed, that you are not interested in revisiting what did not work the first time. The Queen of Swords is someone who has learned that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people experience the natural consequences of their behavior. This person is suffering right now, yes, but that suffering is the only thing that might motivate them to actually change, to actually do the internal work, to actually become someone capable of healthy relationship. And by maintaining your boundaries, by not rushing in to soothe their discomfort or make them feel better about what they lost, you are actually giving them the opportunity to grow. That is the highest form of love, even if it does not look like love to them right now. Let me pull another card because there is more to this story. The Fool just came through, and this is interesting because the Fool represents new beginnings, fresh starts, taking a leap of faith into the unknown. It is the card of innocence and optimism, of trusting the journey even when you cannot see the destination. But in this context, the Fool is showing me something specific about both your energy and theirs. For you, Pisces, the Fool represents the new chapter you are stepping into. You are beginning again, but this time with the wisdom you have gained from this experience. You are not naive anymore about what you will accept in relationships. You are not willing to repeat the same patterns with different people, but you are also not cynical or closed off. You are taking a leap of faith in yourself, trusting that by honoring your boundaries and your worth, you will attract experiences and people who actually align with the life you want to create. The Fool is showing me that you are embracing uncertainty in a healthy way. You do not know exactly what comes next, and you are okay with that. You are not rushing to fill the space this person left with someone new. You are not trying to prove anything to anyone. You are simply walking forward one step at a time, trusting that the universe supports people who support themselves. And that energy, that willingness to start fresh without bitterness or fear, is incredibly powerful. It is the energy that actually manifests good things because it comes from a place of wholeness rather than lack. But the Fool is also showing me something about this person's current state, and this is where it gets a bit sad. They are realizing that they played the fool in this situation. They took a gamble on your patience lasting forever, and they lost. They assumed they could keep you as an option indefinitely, and they were wrong. The Fool can represent someone who makes a leap without looking, who acts impulsively without considering consequences. And that is what this person did. They leapt away from stability and genuine love, assuming they could always leap back. And now they are discovering that some leaps are one-way journeys. The Fool is highlighting the innocence of their assumption that you would always be there. It was almost childlike, this belief that your love was a constant they could rely on without having to nurture or reciprocate it properly. And now they are learning one of life's hardest lessons, that people leave when you treat their presence like a given rather than a gift. The Fool, in its shadow aspect, is about naivety and poor judgment, and this person is sitting with the reality of their own poor judgment right now. What I find particularly interesting about the Fool in this position is that it suggests this person might eventually begin their own journey of transformation, but that journey is going to be separate from you. They are going to have to walk their own path, make their own mistakes, learn their own lessons, and you are not going to be there to guide them or protect them or soften the blow. And that is as it should be. Some lessons can only be learned alone, and this is one of them. Now the Ace of Swords comes through, and this card is like a lightning bolt of clarity and truth. The Ace of Swords represents a breakthrough moment, a sudden realization, the cutting away of confusion to reveal absolute truth. It is the sword of discernment piercing through clouds of uncertainty. And in this reading, the Ace of Swords is showing me that this person is having, or is about to have, a moment of devastating clarity about what they lost and why they lost it. Up until now, they might have been able to maintain some level of denial. They might have told themselves that you were being dramatic, that you would come back, that this was just a phase, that you did not really mean it when you walked away. But the Ace of Swords is bringing a moment where all of those comfortable lies are cut away, and they are left staring at the unvarnished truth. And the truth is that they took someone extraordinary for granted, that they treated priceless love like it was cheap and disposable, that they had something real and they destroyed it through their own emotional cowardice and immaturity. This moment of clarity is going to hurt. The Ace of Swords does not bring gentle revelations. It brings sharp, cutting, undeniable truth. And this person is going to have to sit with the reality that this is not your fault. It is not bad timing. It is not miscommunication. This is the direct result of their choices, their actions, their failure to show up when it mattered. The Ace of Swords is showing me that they are being forced to take accountability in a way they probably never have before. And that accountability is part of their karmic lesson. For you, Pisces, the Ace of Swords represents the clarity you have already achieved. You are not confused about this situation. You are not second-guessing your decision. You are not wondering if you were too harsh or if you should give them another chance. You have cut through all of that uncertainty, and you know with absolute certainty that walking away was the right choice. And that clarity is your power. It is what allows you to maintain your boundaries without wavering. It is what allows you to remain indifferent, even if they try to pull you back in. The Ace of Swords is also about truth speaking, and I am getting that if this person does try to have a conversation with you, you are going to speak truth in a way that leaves no room for misinterpretation. You are not going to soften your words to protect their feelings. You are not going to leave a door open that you have already closed. You are going to be direct and honest, and that honesty is going to be the final nail in the coffin of whatever hope they might be holding on to. Sometimes the kindest thing we can do is be brutally clear so people can actually move on rather than living in false hope. Let me draw another card. The Seven of Wands has appeared, and this is really telling. The Seven of Wands shows a figure standing on higher ground, defending their position against multiple challenges coming from below. It is a card of standing your ground, of defending your boundaries, of refusing to be pushed off your position even when you are facing opposition. In this reading, the Seven of Wands is showing me that this person might be starting to push back against your boundaries. Now that your indifference is really sinking in, now that they are realizing you are not coming back, they might try different tactics to break through your defenses. They might try reaching out through mutual friends. They might try showing up in places they know you will be. They might try sending messages that are designed to trigger your empathy or your guilt. They might even try to make you jealous or make you feel like you are missing out. But the Seven of Wands is showing me that you are prepared for this. You are standing on higher ground, which means you have the advantage. You can see these tactics coming from a mile away. You are not going to be manipulated back into a situation you consciously chose to leave. You are defending your peace, your boundaries, your new beginning, and you are doing it from a place of strength rather than anger. This card is also showing me that maintaining your boundaries might require ongoing effort. This person is not going to give up easily because your absence is creating a void in their life that they are now desperate to fill. But every time they push, you are going to hold your ground. Every time they try a new approach, you are going to maintain your position. And eventually, they are going to exhaust themselves and realize that you cannot be moved. The Seven of Wands is highlighting something important, though. This defense of your boundaries is not coming from a place of fear or weakness. You are not blocking this person because you are afraid of falling back into the pattern. You are blocking them because you have genuinely moved into a different space energetically, and you are protecting that space because it serves your highest good. You are fighting for your peace, your clarity, your future, and that is a fight worth having. What makes this particularly karmic is that this person is now experiencing what it feels like to be on the outside looking in. They are the ones who are being shut out, who are facing barriers, who are not being let in. They put you in that position so many times, keeping you at arm's length, making you feel like you were always fighting for their attention and affection, and now the tables have completely turned. The Seven of Wands is showing me that they are exhausting themselves trying to get back what they lost, while you are calmly, peacefully, powerfully maintaining the boundaries that protect your well-being. Now, the Four of Wands comes through, and I have to say, when I saw this card, my immediate reaction was, oh, this is about what is being built in your absence. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration, stability, foundation, home. It represents the construction of something solid and lasting, something worth celebrating. It shows four wands creating a stable structure, often with people celebrating underneath. In this context, the Four of Wands is showing me that while this person is sitting in their karma, suffering from their choices, you are actively building something beautiful in your life. You are creating stability. You are establishing new foundations. You are celebrating your freedom and your growth. The life you are building now is not contingent on anyone else's participation. It is not waiting for someone to show up or change or become who you need them to be. It is solid and real and yours. This card is showing me that you are investing in yourself in ways you could not when you were giving so much energy to someone who did not appreciate it. Maybe you are focusing on your career or your creative projects. Maybe you are deepening friendships that actually nourish you. Maybe you are creating a home environment that feels peaceful and authentic. Maybe you are just enjoying the simple pleasure of not having to manage someone else's emotional unavailability while neglecting your own needs. Whatever form it takes, you are building, and that building energy is palpable. The Four of Wands is also about celebration, and I am getting that you are finding joy in places you did not expect. Small moments are feeling significant. Simple pleasures are feeling profound. There is a lightness to your energy now that was not there when you were carrying the weight of a one-sided dynamic. And that joy, that celebration of your own life, is part of what is making your indifference so powerful. You are not sitting around mourning what you lost. You are actively celebrating what you gained, which is yourself. This card is highlighting the contrast between your energy and theirs right now. You are building and celebrating while they are destroying themselves with regret and longing. You are moving forward while they are stuck looking backward. You are creating new memories while they are trapped in old ones. The Four of Wands is showing me that this divergence in energy is only going to grow. You are on an upward trajectory and they are spiraling, and that is the natural consequence of the choices that have been made. Let me pull the final card because I want to see where this energy is ultimately heading. The Judgment card has appeared, and honestly, I cannot think of a more appropriate card to complete this reading. Judgment represents karmic reckoning, the moment when we are called to account for our actions, when the universe presents us with the consequences of our choices, when truth and accountability catch up with us. In this reading, Judgment is confirming everything the other cards have been showing. This is indeed a karmic Sunday for this person. They are being judged not by you, but by the universe itself, by the natural law of cause and effect. They sowed seeds of emotional unavailability, of taking love for granted, of treating someone precious like they were disposable, and now they are reaping the harvest of those seeds, and the harvest is bitter. Judgment is a card of awakening, and this person is experiencing a harsh awakening to reality. They are being forced to see themselves clearly, to recognize the role they played in losing you, to understand that actions have consequences, and love is not infinite when it is not reciprocated. This awakening is painful, but it is necessary. It is the only way they will ever learn, the only way they will ever grow, the only way they will ever become capable of treating the next person better. But Judgment is also speaking to your liberation, Pisces. This card represents freedom from past patterns, the completion of a cycle, the moment when you are released from karmic lessons you have learned. And you have learned your lesson. You have learned that you cannot love someone into loving you back properly. You have learned that patience without reciprocity is just self-abandonment. You have learned that your love is not a rehabilitation program for emotionally unavailable people. And having learned these lessons, you are being released. You are free to move forward into relationships and experiences that actually honor who you are. The Judgment card is showing me that this situation is reaching its final resolution. There is no going back. There is no reconciliation on the horizon. There is no plot twist where this person suddenly becomes who you needed them to be and you live happily ever after. That story is over. The judgment has been passed. The sentence has been served. And now you are both moving into the next chapter of your lives. But those chapters are separate. What I find most powerful about Judgment in this position is that it suggests this experience is going to change both of you permanently. This person will carry the lesson of what they lost for the rest of their life. It will inform how they approach future relationships, assuming they do the work to actually integrate the lesson. And you, Pisces, will carry the strength you discovered in yourself, the clarity you developed, the boundaries you learned to maintain. You will never again accept crumbs from someone's table when you deserve the whole feast. So let me bring all of this together for you, Pisces, because the story these cards are telling is profound and it is unfolding right now, today, this very Sunday. Someone who took your love for granted is sitting in the full weight of their karma. They are experiencing confusion and regret and loss and clarity all at once, and it is breaking them open in ways they probably needed to break open. Meanwhile, you are standing in your power, maintaining your boundaries, building your new life, and feeling absolutely clear about your choice to walk away. Your indifference is not cruelty, Pisces. It is self-respect. It is the natural result of someone learning that they cannot pour endlessly into a void and expect to remain full. This person is learning what it feels like to be on the other side of emotional unavailability. And that lesson is their karma, not your responsibility. You are not obligated to soften their landing or make their consequences more comfortable. You are only obligated to honor yourself and your own healing. What strikes me most about this reading is the complete divergence in energy between you and this person. While they are drowning in regret and confusion, you are building and celebrating and moving forward. While they are losing sleep replaying the past, you are sleeping peacefully and dreaming about the future. While they are stuck in the energy of loss, you are embodying the energy of liberation. That contrast tells you everything you need to know about who made the right choice. The cards are also being very clear that this person's attempts to reconnect or win you back are not going to work. You have integrated the Queen of Swords energy. You have passed through the transformation of the Death card. You are standing on the solid foundation of the Four of Wands. You are defended by the Seven of Wands. You are guided by the clarity of the Ace of Swords. This person is not getting back in, Pisces. That door is sealed. And honestly, that is exactly as it should be. Some people come into our lives to teach us what we will not tolerate, to show us where we need stronger boundaries, to illuminate the parts of ourselves that still need healing. This person played that role for you. They showed you that you had been accepting less than you deserve, and in doing so, they catalyzed your transformation into someone who will never accept that again. In a strange way, you should be grateful for the lesson even as you release the teacher. The karma this person is experiencing is not punishment. It is education. The universe is teaching them through loss what they failed to learn through your presence, that love is precious, that people are not infinite resources, that emotional availability matters, that consistency is not optional in healthy relationships. And the only way they could learn this lesson was by losing someone who embodied all of those things. So in a way, your departure is the greatest gift you could have given them, even though it definitely does not feel like a gift to them right now. For you, Pisces, this reading is confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. Your healing is on track. Your boundaries are strong. Your clarity is solid. Your new beginning is blessed. You do not need to question your choice or wonder if you were too harsh or worry about this person's well-being. They are an adult who is experiencing the natural consequences of their adult choices, and that is between them and the universe. What you need to do is keep building. Keep celebrating your freedom. Keep honoring your boundaries. Keep investing in yourself and your dreams and the life you are creating. Keep trusting that by walking away from what did not serve you, you made space for what will. Keep believing that your love is valuable and should only be given to people who recognize its value and honor it accordingly. The universe is proud of you, Pisces. The cards are showing me that this choice to honor yourself, to maintain your indifference, to refuse to go back, this is one of the most important choices you have made in your life. It is the choice that everything else will build on. It is the choice that declares to the universe that you know your worth and you will not settle for less. And the universe always responds to that declaration with opportunities and experiences that match the energy you are putting out. So today, while someone else is living their most karmic Sunday, suffering in the consequences of their choices, you get to live your most liberated Sunday. You get to enjoy your peace. You get to celebrate your strength. You get to build your new foundation. You get to be free. And that freedom, Pisces, that is your reward for doing the hard work of choosing yourself, even when it would have been easier to accept crumbs. I hope this reading brought you the clarity and confirmation you needed. Trust your journey, honor your boundaries, celebrate your growth, and know that the best is yet to come.